husband. You can formally meet now, and this is...
Okay, do I go by?
Hello, I'm joined by my husband today, and this is Vito.
Hey guys.
And we have gotten a few questions over the past couple weeks about why we moved to France and how we can afford to live here and how long we're planning to stay and things of that nature. And so we thought we'd come on today and give you a little overview of those answers basically and just explain a little bit of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
The first question that we get a lot is why we moved to France specifically. And do you want to?
I guess. Let's start it off. Well, first of all, it was about lifestyle. When we got together, we had a particular lifestyle that we imagined in our heads, and we were looking for that particularly. And there was a lot of elements that in America did not fulfill the desires that we had for that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Also because neither of us we were not born in America, and we were both immigrated there, and it never really felt like home, which is why we left July of 2016 to travel. And what we were doing when we were traveling, it wasn't just to see the world, it was to find our home. And we went to a few countries, and the closest we ever got to home was in Montenegro, especially in Kotor. And when we saw it and the way that the city was, and it was just so old and it was so like familiar and it was very personal, and we were like, we want that but on a bigger scale. And so the two options were France or Italy in Europe. And why France and Italy? Just because everything that we liked came from either France or Italy, so it just was the natural course. And I really, really love Italy, even though I haven't been there yet. We might be planning a trip to Italy soon, so very exciting. But also sure thought. Oh, we never intended to go to France, but it just kept coming up, and we just did it on a whim, basically. We got an appointment, and we flew halfway around the world for that appointment, because we were in Qatar at the time, and the embassy finally had an appointment since we lived on the west coast of the United States. That was our permanent residence at the time, and because of that, we had to go to the San Francisco consulate to go to the appointment, and so we booked the flights, and we just left it to chance mostly.
Yeah, threw the dice.
Oh yeah, that thing. That's what it was.
Yeah. One of the other things we really wanted is we wanted to find a place where we could fulfill every daily chore just by walking. Because in America, it's just so big and vast that everywhere you want to go, you have to sit down in a car and drive. And
just to get out of a neighborhood even.
Yeah.
You just have to drive 10 minutes.
And then you gotta like drive for 10 minutes just to find a parking spot somewhere in a parking lot. And we wanted to take that time, and instead of being in a car in a, I guess, piece of metal.
Well, it's going from a box into a bigger box, and then it's just like you're constantly driving everywhere. And yes, there are cities where you can walk, but it's very limited, and none of those cities had what we wanted to begin with. But it
felt disconnected in a way.
Yeah, it's disconnected. You can't just walk out the street and go around the corner and have a coffee or get a baguette or get a little pastry or go to the grocery store, which I mean there are 7 boulangeries like within like half a block of where we are right now. You can just pick any one, you can go and get whatever you want or whatever you need, and you don't have to spend a good like 2 hours driving around the whole city just to pick up groceries. And plus there's traffic, and then it's just you're constantly just running errands basically.
Yeah, waste of time.
Yeah. And it's like everything's so big that you have to drive everywhere, and just so sick and tired of driving. I love like just walking around.
Yeah, the correct term for it is it's vanity. It's where you're wasting time on things that are not really useful. And all the driving, all the lines, all this and that is just vanity.
And it's really, that's what I wanted to say. It's really big. Everything's just so big. The houses are huge. The cars are big. The streets are big. The stores are ginormous. I mean, there's aisles and aisles and aisles of just soda pop or, candy or chips. And there's just so much stuff, and it's so overwhelming.
It's like bulk.
And like everything's so big, yeah. It's like, I mean, Costco's a story all in its own. I mean, their shopping carts are like one of my most hated things in the world. They have the biggest shopping cart. I mean, you could fit like 5 people in it.
It's like the size of the mini cars here in Europe.
Yeah, that's bigger. Yeah.
But okay,
It's not what we wanted, and so since we never really felt an attachment to the United States because we were constantly outsiders, and so it was very natural for us to go somewhere else, and now we're immigrants again, but under different circumstances this time, which, that's why we chose France. Well, we didn't really choose France. France chose us because we never.
Sweet.
We never really intended or planned to go to France. It literally just happened like that, and it's all lined up, and so the next question is how long we're planning to stay here, and
well, I mean, considering the fact that we're trying to find a new home, and if this place is the home, then we're going to be staying here indefinitely. That's the idea. And since we're leaving the U.S., we need to find another place that we can establish permanent residency in. So most likely we're going to stay here at least 5 years to get citizenship or something like that, so that we can, plant roots into a place. So
we have a visa for 1 year at the moment, and it is renewable at the end of the year for another 1 or 2 years, or 2 to 3 years. I'm not
something
sure.
like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll look at that
when we get
there. Yeah, when the time comes, and we are hopefully, if everything goes well, planning to stay here for at least 5 years to get a citizenship. So that's the 5-year plan.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone always like that's the question in school. You're like, what's your 5-year plan? So
move to Paris and live here. That's the 5-year plan. Okay, what's the other question? How do we?
So the next one is what do we do for work and how we can afford to travel.
Yeah. Well, let's start with what do you do for work?
I don't work. When we left in July of 2016, I stopped doing any kind of work at all because it's just impossible, really, because I work.
Yeah, with all the travel.
Yeah, I just couldn't, especially since I used to do like online sales, and what am I gonna sell, like, or ship or anything? The logistics are just impossible. So I stopped doing any of that, and I've just been a homemaker full time since then. But been a travel. What is that? A travel planner? No, a travel agency. Like, what are those people called that do travel?
Concierge, maybe? No.
A travel agent.
I guess a travel agent.
There you go, that thing. So I've been a travel agent because I've kind of planned out all our trips.
Well, you do a lot of work. You pack the bags, unpack the bags.
I'm a really good packer.
Pack the bags.
Unpack the bags.
That's what we did for like half a year. Okay, what do? I do software development. I have my own company. Started it about 5 years ago. So that's how we can, I guess, get around and how we work, because pretty much it's all digital. You can be anywhere in the world and make money anywhere in the world. So
you work remotely.
And I work remotely. So pretty much my laptop is my job. I whip out a laptop, sit down, start typing, I'm working. I close the laptop, I'm not working. So it's very simple.
Because of that we can travel,
Yeah.
because that's how we work.
Yeah. But we were planning to do this for like 10 years. We wanted to go travel somewhere. So the reason that I even work like this is because we wanted to travel and go visit places. And so I wanted to make a career path that would enable that. So it's not like the stars aligned and we got lucky.
Yeah. So when we started dating 10 years ago, we always wanted to go travel the world. And we knew that there was a way we needed to financially be able to do that. And so you just kind of fell into software.
Yeah.
And you liked it, and it's the perfect.
Yeah, but the initial beginning of it was because it was the ultimate job that could let you work anywhere you want to be. So there's that, and then I guess that also answers how we can afford it. I mean, it's just a number that you can pull out from any bank account anywhere in the world. So
we don't work in France. We're not legally allowed to work in France for this year, and we don't go to school. I mean, I finished school. You're a dropout.
Don't tell anyone.
No, everyone knows. And yeah, it's a very different approach to moving, and it's difficult to explain to people when we interact here with people, and they're like, what are you doing here? You go to school? It's like, no. Do you work here? Not exactly. It's like, well, what do you do? How did you move here? And it's very difficult to explain that we just moved because we wanted to, out of sheer willpower, really.
They're like dumbfounded by it.
Yeah, I guess I'm like, I can't find the right word. Speechless. So yeah, and it's a very unconventional, unorthodox way of moving, I suppose, and
Well, not just moving, living.
living. Yeah.
We wake up when we want to. We stroll out, go to the grocery store, go get a coffee, and you can see people's confused looks when they see you again and again, and they can't establish your schedule. You're just kind of appearing and disappearing, but you're not disappearing. You're constantly there, and then they ask the questions: Why are you here? How are you here?
What are you doing here?
And then they get confused.
Yeah.
So very unorthodox.
I hope that kind of explained it a little bit or cleared it up.
Or
Perhaps.
made more questions.
If you do have more questions, let me know or us know below and we can answer those. And if you have any questions in general about anything really, let me know. I can do a whole Q&A video if that's something that you're interested in, if there's enough questions. And if not, I can just touch up on it in another video. And I mean, yeah, did we miss anything?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's it. That covers most of it.
Mm-hmm.
My job here is done.
You can go finally then. You don't have to be on camera anymore?
No, I kind of like the camera.
Aww.
Get my good side.
Okay. Well, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that cleared it up.
I guess that's that. Ciao.
It's not Italy. What?
Au revoir.
Au revoir, dude.
Yeah,
Au revoir.